I swear to God. He's like in the other room and he's quiet, and then I turn on the camera and I start talking and he starts going meow, meow. Like, I think he thinks I'm having a chat with him. Arthur, come here. No, he's not going to come. All right, anyways. Welcome to the channel. This is Dan. Welcome to Angle Guys. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Your support means the world to me. So this is the October 2020 Tarotscope for my personal sign of Pisces. This is for anybody with a sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Pisces or heavily placed planets in Pisces. You would want to watch this. Anybody that cares about a Pisces, feel free to watch this too. You can certainly cross-watch. This is a broad spectrum reading involving a lot of different people, so if none of it makes sense to you, that's completely fine. It just might be something that, will you stop with the dog, please? You might be working on something else at this time, and that's completely acceptable, don't worry. If you watch this, you have to kind of figure out, oh god, already Kathy's here. You have to figure out what it is. Arthur, I am gonna like put my foot in your ass, dear. Like, seriously, it's 6 a.m. Please. Just, like, lay down. Thank you. Alright, so, what was I going to say? It is, I can't remember now. Oh, it's too early in the morning, guys. I keep getting up this week, like, super early. I don't know what's going on. What the fuck was I saying? I'm totally brain dead. Alright, I'll get back on my spiel here in 1 minute. Take what you need and leave the rest, essentially. If you make any decisions in regards to what you see in this video, in regards to your life, then that is your responsibility, okay? Always trust your own intuition over anything I say, alright? Use this video as a sort of source of, like, say, maybe guidance or support, validation for what might be going on for you. But don't take my word over what you might be feeling in your gut or intuitively know to be true for you, okay? If you're interested in a private reading, you can certainly contact me at the Facebook business page. And, who knows, maybe even Arthur will be giving out readings by that point. So, you might be able to get that going. So, the first card that we're doing is from the Learning to Witch deck. I cannot remember the name of the artist, but this is sort of a card to kind of be the guide for the Pisces for the month. It sort of gives us like maybe something to reflect upon, possibly potentially a theme, kind of where we're at or where our focus might be throughout the month of October. So let's see what that is. Oh, and please hit like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Help me promote this channel. If you're a fan, if you watch regularly, please find ways to help me get the word out. My channel is growing very slowly, and to be honest, coupled with everything that's going on in the world, I'm contemplating giving it all up. Just going and getting a job. Being like, whatever, I'll take COVID. Alright, so let's see what's going on. Okay. So, we have salt for the Pisces. Fish and salt, they kind of go together, let's just say that. Purify tools conjure balance. When I think of salt, I think about the idea that it is, it does purify, it's a natural purifier, and it also is a protector, right? The idea of conjuring balance, we might need to find some balance this month, Pisces. We'll look at the cards and see what comes out. But I do like, it's interesting that they show this not like in a mound of salt, but in this salt shaker. To me, I almost feel like we could wield this as a weapon if we're not, if we're not careful. So, remember, kind of, we're in charge of our own protection, our own safety, our own security is kind of the feeling that I get here. Our own purity, right? Our own cleansing, right? Our own renewal. Is sort of the vibe that I'm getting from this card too. Like, and we have that aspect or that attribute within us, if that makes sense. But it's up to us to sort of maintain that this month. We'll see what's going on in the cards. I don't know, Maybe that will show us a little bit as to why this card is coming up. But I do like that the responsibility sort of falls to us, is what it feels like to me, to maintain our, I don't know if purity is the right word, but like our own protection, our own boundaries, our own cleansing, our own purging this month, and doing that in a way that's sort of productive, healthy, freeing would be a good word too. Salt is definitely a, a very powerful tool. It is used to clean crystals and so that they can be re-energized by the light of the moon or the sun. It's that kind of a thing. Maybe salt baths might be in order for some of my Pisces this month, as we go through the month, to kind of maintain that sort of balance and that clarity that we might need. So let's see what's going on. Oh, and I don't have a chat window up, so if anybody is up this early watching with me, I can't see your chats, so it's not that I'm ignoring you. I appreciate your comments. I will probably read them later on the video, but right now I'm just concentrating on the reading. And let me just say this too, with this salt, this sort of salt mill, if anybody gets out of line, just grab it and whack them in the head, Pisces. I do not condone violence. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so this first card is the center of the spread. This tells me sort of where we're going to be centered at in the month of October. It's not necessarily will be this way the entirety of the month, just kind of going in and out of this sort of general vibe for the month. It gives me insight into not only what are you working with, but what you could potentially be creating for, coming down the line. So this is the Nine of Swords. So hello, Miss Worry, and worry about the future to me. She's definitely reaching out to the future. Swords is the element of air and the intellect. It's interesting, Scorpio had the Queen of Swords. So my water signs, we'll see what's going on with Cancer. Cancer will be next, but it seems like my water signs are a bit up in their head in the month of October. Pisces, the Nine of Swords is not, the best of cards. It's usually noted to be like anxiety, nightmares, fears, things like that. This could be fears about the future. This could be fears about where we're headed. And this could be, we as a planet or we personally, maybe we don't see how our future is going to roll out right now. And we're stressing about that a little bit. The one good thing about the Nine is it offers a completion, a personal individual completion. So hopefully, if we're balancing it out with kind of what I see in the Salt card, which is this idea of conjuring balance, we can maybe come to some sort of completion with this back and forth stress that we might be dealing with, the anxiety or the worries that we might be having in the month of October. Okay, but if you are having anxieties and worries, nightmares, fears, that are just working you or annoying you, I want to say this: take heart in the fact that this is maybe where you need to be, because not that I want anybody to be in worry, right? But I feel like this Salt card speaks to this idea of us kind of taking the reins, grabbing the wheel, making sure that we are taken care of first, even in the midst of struggle, worry, situations that might spook us or scare us. There's a lot going on in the world too. Like if any of us are paying attention to just, stuff in the world right now, there's a lot of major shifts and changes. And for Pisces, as sensitive as we can be, it can be hard to take on. So that could be in this sort of others, layer of stress to all of this. That could be this Nine of Swords energy in our center. Is like, how the hell do I move through a world that is so chaotic right now? Well, this Salt energy to me is of like, purify yourself, bring back that balance, bring it back to your own boundaries, that you can only control what you know and what's good for you, and keep moving towards the future and try and alleviate yourself from this fear, right? Try and alleviate yourself from this worry, this anxiety, self-doubt, anything like that. The Nine does signify like the ending of that. So this month might be working really hard with that. Sometimes we have to fight those things or face them dead on so that we can understand that they're maybe not as true as they might feel. Because, Pisces, we're all about the feels, right? So you know, that anxiety that we might be feeling or those fears we might be feeling doesn't necessarily make them facts. Okay, so the next card is the Foundation card. This card tells me a bit about sort of what's going on from the past that holds everything in place, that sort of led us up to here. It's the memory of this card that kind of also be pushing things along or keeping things held in place. All right, so this is the Queen of Pentacles. I like the Queen of Pentacles. She is very calm. She is very grounded. She is very giving, loving, all of that sort of stuff. Pentacles is the energy of Earth, which is our complementary energy to the fact that we're water signs. So I like that. What this speaks to me is it speaks to the idea that Pisces might have felt a little bit more grounded in the past, maybe earlier in the year or last year. We maybe had a plan, maybe we've gone off plan, or our plan is harder to see right now due to stresses and worries in the month of October. There could be new changes as we move forward into the month of October too, with that Nine of Swords. Her looking to the future, the changes that could be taking place could feel scary or unsure for some of us, right? This Queen of Pentacles, though, being in the Foundation, speaks to this idea that there was this time where things were more manageable. They were more lovely, right? Queens also are that, you know, Pentacles is the element of earth. Queens represent as the element of cups, right? So that is water there. So we have this sort of grounded material aspect of the pentacle coupled with the emotional sort of feeling of the queen. So to me, there was this nice blending at some point in time where we were able to not only feel good or intuit our way through material situations and make creation happen, make you know, maybe a very nice life for ourselves, or feel very settled and at peace, compassionate, loving towards others. That's like Pisces, a nice natural set point for Pisces. We may not be able to feel like we have that within us right now throughout the month of October because of this Nine of Swords. But I think that with this Queen of Pentacles down below, she speaks to the idea that we're still trying to get back to that, right? We remember that we were there at one point in time, and hopefully we can get back to that if we don't allow our fears to pervade everything and sort of keep us away from it. Does that make sense? Like, I like that she is sitting there sort of as a memory, but she's also kind of like the driving desire or force underneath all of this. It's like, don't worry, we can get back to stable, we can get back to compassion, we can get back to generosity, we can get back to love. It's all there for us. We just need to believe that we can get there. And some of the belief of that, or some of the work involved in that in the month of October, is to utilize like sort of this salt card where we have to do our rituals, we have to do our protections, we have to maintain our energy, we have to, you know, purify ourselves to the like toxicity that we see going on around us. Now, this could be in our immediate world, or like, you know, in people that we know that we deal with day to day, or this could be, you know, in the global world. But whatever it is, we have to kind of be what's the word, like forthright in a way, or I don't want to say relentless, but resilient in a way of maintaining our own energy and our own selves, and really kind of challenging this Nine of Swords or this anxiety, whatever worry, fear that we might be going through, and transforming it, right? Now, the next card is our Spirit card or our Soul card. This tells us a bit about what the spirit or soul is going on, what's going on for them. So this is the Five of Pentacles. Not the best spirit or soul card, let's just say that. To me, that usually is, fives represent change. It can be, again, we have that Pentacles energy above us and below us, right? Like, I'm not so sure that my Pisces might not be dealing with financial woes this month, or fears around that, fears around material wealth, fears around relationships, interpersonal relationships, fears around jobs and careers. The five generally represents that it's a little bit more unstable, a little bit more open for change. It could be a setback of some sort. This being in the spirit space, to me, speaks to this idea that, I mean, the one thing that I like about this is that it is in the spirit space, which says to me that maybe any setbacks or worries that we're dealing with are intended, that our soul wants us to look at these things, that our soul wants us to address these things, that our soul wants us to maybe be not. I never want to say that our soul wants us to be in anguish or worry or fear, but there is a challenge here that I kind of feel like that is going on, that if we face it head on, we have an opportunity to kind of maybe transform it, change it, come to a completion with it. That's like what we see in this Nine of Swords. And so I think that our spirit, if there's any upheaval going in the month of October, or challenges, setbacks, things of that nature, trust that they're there for a reason and just face them head on, if that makes sense. Utilizing sort of this, the purification of the salt, right? Or this, it's almost like it's like the salt is giving me almost like this, like, you know how we burn sage to cleanse our aura? Like, we might have to be doing that a lot this month, because we might just be stressed out, and there's things that are challenging us or going on that aren't necessarily exactly how we planned or don't feel super stable. But right now, let's be honest, the world is not super stable, and let's be honest, Pisces is a very sensitive sign, right? We tend to like pick up on the more subtle nuances of everything that's going on. And so when we read between those lines, we might see things that others don't. And so we sort of have a tendency to let the wheels fall off a little bit, or get a little bit more nervous than others, because we pick up on like the more finer details of things. I don't think that this is a bad thing. I just think that it's a challenging period for us. And we have the salt card, to me, feels like we have the awareness or the intelligence, the skills, the what's required of us to protect ourselves or take care of ourselves through this, and find that balance throughout the month, even if we feel like we get knocked out of balance. Okay? The next two cards are what I call the outside influences. These are people, sometimes events. They can be things like energy systems, or beliefs that are affecting us during this time. So we have the energy of the Emperor. So the Emperor's Aries energy, he tends to be a sort of like, he's compassionate, but he's got like high standards, is always in my perception of the Emperor, right? He has certain high expectations. This could be a significant authority figure in our lives that we need to maybe impress, or that we need to sort of ask for help, that we need sort of guidance from. But I kind of feel like this being the Emperor and that Nine of Swords being in the center, we're going to have to get our shit together. Like, to me, it feels like, how do I want to say this? Like, I kind of feel like he's around, or they're around, this energy's around, even if this is not a specific person, this energy's around, it's benevolent, and it will help us, but it expects the highest order of the best that we can possibly give, right? And now this Queen of Pentacles down in the foundation, she says to me that we know how to like ground ourselves, get our shit together, and deliver. We've done it in the past. And the Emperor would be very appreciative of that, right? He would appreciate and honor that. But Pisces needs to sort of get out of their head, get out of their mind, get out of the worries of finances and things like that, or any small setbacks that we experience in the month of October, and understand that those small setbacks might be repositionings. They might be changings for us that need to get us to a place that is better, right? And this Emperor will sort of bestow upon us potential gifts, or ideas, help, that will help us, but we have to stand up. We can't just kind of like fall into a puddle and be like, oh my God, I can't do it. Does that make sense? Because that's not going to be appreciated, honored, respected by this Emperor energy. Okay, so if this is an actual specific Aries person, or some male, figure around you, it could be a boss or a boyfriend or a husband or whatever, that he has sort of high expectations, we can't, my feeling is we can't melt into jello in front of them, or else they're not going to sort of, assist us. Not that we require their assistance, but I feel like this is a beneficial card. It is Major Arcana. He has a fair amount of impact. He has a fair amount of influence, and he can really change things for us or help us in a lot of ways if we choose to rise to the occasion. Oh shit, okay. The other card we have is the Magician. So we have two major arcana males. Let me just look at this for a second. I almost want to say, when I'm looking at all of these cards together, like the first question that I want to ask is, what are we afraid of letting go of, Pisces? What are we afraid of changing? Because I feel like the change is coming. That's the Five of Pentacles. And the change, although it might feel at first scary or like a setback and cause us to worry, like we see in that Nine of Swords, the Magician and the Emperor are two very, very powerful energies, people potentially, that are here to transform us. This drive is to get back to this place of stability, which is this Queen of Pentacles. We've been there before. We felt grounded. We felt connected. We felt like more in control. Things were better. Maybe we've been out of whack for a little bit. Maybe we've not been feeling it. To me, whether these are people or these are energies coming from the outside influence, right? We're talking about the Emperor and the Magician. No small players are here, right? These are people that are here to help you. They are people of the highest order. They are people or energies of the highest order, right? We've got to kind of use this terminology, apply it in the way that it best fits your life. These are going to be situations that might require a little bit of us, especially that Emperor. But if we rise to that occasion, I kind of get a feeling that absolute transformation can take place coming from our outside environment. And this transformation will be for our benefit. We will learn, we will grow, we will become stronger because of it. The Magician is always about having access to the four elements. He's about creation, the opportunity for creation, and all of that entails. It has a little bit of a, that magical flair to it of sort of, as it is above, so it is below. And so to me, when I look at this, it's like, is the transformation what's scaring us? Is it the fear of the unknown? Is it the fear that maybe we can't do it or we don't deserve it? And then it takes me back to this Salt card, which says purify tools, conjure balance. Like there's this cleansing and this balancing that needs to continue to happen throughout this month so that we can stay on track and also allow these sort of impactful cards, the Emperor and the Magician, to come into our lives to help us. That's really my feeling with these cards. And for each one of you, these two situations, the Emperor or the Magician, might come in different ways, but both are beneficial, both are powerful, both are transformative. One requires a little bit of a, what's the word? Like an expectation from us. That's that Emperor. He wants us to, see us do our best, prove to him almost in a way that we deserve his assistance. And I don't mean that in a smug, bad way. I mean that in a way of he will definitely care for us or take care of us. This energy will definitely care for us or take care of us. But we can't phone this one in this month. Does that make sense? Like, I'm going to use me as an example because I'm a Pisces. I'm just going to say this. So the way that I would interpret this for myself for this month of October, last month, September, I've been hiding out. I've been watching the news, freaking out, not really wanting to deal with anything, feeling like, oh my God, the world is falling apart. That would be my Nine of Swords energy that I could be potentially channeling all the month of October. When I look at these cards, I see that if I get myself out of that and stop focusing on the setbacks, or if there are setbacks that are going on around me, right? That's this Five of Pentacles. Understanding that those setbacks they may affect me directly down the line, but not necessarily. And that I need to continue to move on, keep myself clean, stay focused in this idea of getting regrounded back to my sort of centered, grounded, emotional, wonderful self, and let the fucking outside universe come in and do its magic. But I have to stand up for that, channel that, be productive, don't take the easy route. Don't like keep climbing into bed every day and hiding out from the world, which is what I've been doing through the month of September. I mean, granted, my back has been hurting and things like that, but there's, this is about like sort of shitting or getting off the pot, is the way that I'm reading it, at least in, in reference to my life. I don't know if that applies to any of you guys, but as I'm looking at this and where I'm seeing it fit in my life, that's sort of the scenario that I'm seeing. You have to find that scenario for yourself within your life. Where is it that we are anxious? Where is it that we are worried? Where is it that we are like trying to maybe potentially avoid and not look at? We need to bring that to an end. And we need to make that ending a central focus in the month of October so that we can bring in what these energies, these heavy hitters want to come in and give us. And this, like I said, could be a form of people, or it could be a form of just, the energies, or even just belief systems, ideas, right? This idea of living to a higher standard and the ability to create from there magically whatever it is that we want. But we have to channel it. And I love that she's sitting down here, right? She is this benevolent, generous, loving, grounded, still emotional, still connected to water because it's a queen, but she also is sort of the driving force behind this, which says to me that she's solid. It's just like mentally, are we just a little bit off or worried this month? We need to really look at that and work with that and change that, and we can. All right, so this last card, I hope that made sense. And I saw that I got too personal on it, but I just thought that maybe sharing an example of how I see it in my life might help you guys to land it somewhere in your life. The next card is what I call the potential outcomes card. This card tells me a bit about sort of where things are naturally going, barring that nothing major changes. This card is not set in stone. It is just, where the energy is flowing towards as it stands right now. We can use this as a warning if it's something negative that we don't want to have happen by the month's end. But if it's something that's positive, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it. We just need to kind of keep going towards this outcome. All right, so we've got the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is kind of a little bit of a struggle card. It can be a little bit conflicty. It can be a little bit setbacky. To me, with this deck, though, I just said this because this showed up in Scorpio's reading, too. This was one of their outside influences. To me, this feels like there's a new path opening up. Wands is the element of fire. Wands is the element of spirit. I feel like these are the challenges that might be coming into play that we see in that Five of Pentacles, right? Challenges to maybe our home, our finances, our life situation that require us to, instead of get nervous like that Nine of Swords, but we have to like stand up, step into our power, and move towards this Five of Wands, where we start to build this new avenue, this new opportunity, this new path that is more spiritually in line with us, or that we're more desirous of. We have to start to take that action, make the choice to physically take that action regardless of the outcome, right? Regardless of like, to me, the Five of Wands in this case scenario, like we have these little cherubs harnessing this new ladder to climb, is how I see it. They're sort of organizing the wands. A lot of times Five of Wands is about like sort of playful competition, like sparring and people getting in the way, and it can be like sort of an annoying card. To me, this feels like a new opportunity is maybe awakening by month's end if we do this work. It's work to get those rungs of that ladder together, right? It's not just going to be all easy peasy and we're going to be magically happy, but it is leading us to something better, right? Certainly better than where we're at right now with that Nine of Swords in the center. And again, like I said, if this is something that does not resonate for any of my Pisces that are watching, this may not be your reading this month, right? But for those of you that might be experiencing, going into the month, experiencing some fear, anguish, you know, worries. I mean, it's funny that the Nine of Swords is there, and I've been waking up all this last week super early. So not necessarily with nightmares, but I have been waking up earlier than normal, and that's probably due to some like level of stress that I'm, you know, just trying to manage because I don't like what's going on in the world at all. It makes me like literally nauseous. So if anybody else is in that boat with me or is feeling that in some way, shape, or form about, you know, something in their life, I think that there's a reason for it. I think that these cards are telling me that we're where we're supposed to be, right? This Emperor and this Magician speak to this idea that there are things that want to help us, that they want to move us in such positive directions with such benevolence, love, and creativity that we need to sort of get out of our own way. We need to be willing to roll up our sleeves, do the work, don't hide out, because that's a natural Pisces tendency to want to just like, you know, climb under the covers and hope that it passes. No, we want to do this work. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. That is your October forecast. And I will just keep showing up, Pisces. I love you guys. I know you guys are some of the most sensitive souls on the planet. And I know that we're also some of the most, you know, intuitive and creative. And I think that when I see this Emperor and this Magician, I think that the planet or the environment, the universe knows that and they want to honor us. But are we willing to honor ourselves? Are we willing to do the work? That's the question that I see in this reading. And that question may only just be for me per se, but that's certainly a question that I see there. So if that question makes any sense to you, please leave me a comment and let me know. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're interested in a more personal reading, please feel free to contact me at the Facebook business page. And I will see you guys next month. You can always join me on the YouTube channel every morning for the daily forecast. I'm going to go run today's in just a moment, and then I will be back on to do Cancer's reading for October, and I will see you guys next month. Thank you so much.